Yes, let's do this. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
We haven't started yet.
Right.
All right.
What other games, Elliot? Go on, name them.
Crackdown. Final
No.
Fantasy.
No, I was looking for Far Cry 5.
That 2 is a game.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Let's roll.
All right.
That sounded very Soldier 76.
Thank you. Maybe I'll do the podcast like this.
You should.
Please don't.
Go on.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how we'd rather be at E3 than playing games. I'm Josh.
I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo.
All right, guys, so it's Tuesday. We've been watching E3 for the past, 3-4 days now, and wow, just got a lot to go through. I mean, we had EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, Devolver, Ubisoft, Sony, Nintendo, just kind of going through a whole bunch of different games, some great, some not so great, but yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, just E3. How overall, what do you guys think?
I think I saw a lot of CG trailers that didn't really show me much of anything at all. In fairness, there were a few gameplay trailers and people on stage going through stuff, but good Lord, it was a lot of CG trailers.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. That's not necessarily a new thing.
Yeah, and so that's what I was thinking. Am I just sensitive to it this year, or does this always happen?
I mean, it's still annoying.
I turn, you see, you're going through YouTube and you're like, amazing, a new game I'm interested in, Wolfenstein or Evil Within 2, and then you click on it and you're just watching literally nothing. You don't know what you're gonna play. You're not watching a movie.
Or you could be like me, where one of the top games of the conference was literally just a logo.
Yeah.
Well, that was
nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was an all right E3, but the big thing about it is the games that I'm most excited for, I don't own the console. So that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of feeling that myself, and I think once we get down to that specific conference, we'll have more to say. But
yeah,
let's start out at the beginning though. What the first conference that was going was Electronic Arts, or EA.
Thanks for that breakdown.
Hey, some people don't know what EA stands for.
It's in the game.
Oh god.
Oh no, that's EA Sports.
That's EA Sport. Yeah, EA Sports. It's in the game. Dun 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 dun. No, nobody else played it.
It's okay. We can
NHL 95.
That was in NHL 95.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, we've got to find that. It's meant to be the best of the lot, isn't it?
Wait, no, it might have been 96.
I feel like 96 is the one that gets referenced.
It might have been 96 that had that song, though. I don't remember. It's a date. It's a date.
It's immaterial. Let's get back to this. EA.
So EA had some okay stuff for the most part. I mean, they Star Wars Battlefront 2, for instance. One of the big things they pointed out was how everybody was bitching the first one didn't have a campaign, and so they're like, well, maybe we should have a campaign. And so, okay, now I'm actually kind of interested
But how much of a campaign is it really going to be? Like, is it a Battlefield campaign? Because Battlefield technically has a campaign. What's the Battlefront campaign going to be? Are you going to play through the movies? Or are you going to...
They're bound to do something much more fun with it. We gotta be a little optimistic about it. It's the Star Wars universe. It's not hard to make an interesting story, and well, sometimes it's hard to make a fun game out of that, or some developers.
I feel like they mentioned that the campaign would kind of bridge the gap between 6 and 7.
Oh yeah, they did mention that actually. Yeah.
Okay. I thought I remembered hearing that.
Yeah, if it's extra story, especially story that we haven't seen in the movie, then I'm all for that. As long as it's, I can't see it being like a Wolfenstein level of detail, and single player campaign or Doom or Prey
But they have
or
to.
anything like that.
Well, I mean,
If it's a half the length of one of those games, or if it's a quarter of the length, aren't people gonna say that's not what we were promised?
But it's a multiplayer game first, and then they're gonna just
No,
take
what
those...
they're trying to make clear is it's not that anymore. And like it might be more like Battlefield Bad Company, or sorry, Battlefield, was that Bad Company? Oh, Bad Company 2 was the one that we had that had both a campaign and was
They've all
really
had a
popular.
campaign, just not anything worth talking about.
Battlefield 4, Battlefield
Yeah.
3.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Have they? Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong, and that, you know, I'll
How much of
I'll
the
see
campaign
your
did the
point.
show, by the way, of Star Wars Battlefront 2?
It looked like a little bit, but again, it was all CG trailer, so I don't. It
Oh,
could be
okay.
the whole thing was.
And then they showed
as far as I
about
know.
20 minutes, 30 minutes of a multiplayer match and some dude screaming his face off and just making no sense. It was very strange. I'm not sure that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for in a conference in general.
Yeah.
Watching people play a multiplayer game that I've never played myself and that, you know, is still in development. Not really my idea of edge of your seat, exciting E3 conference, but that's just me. What did you think of it?
Well, I mean, it's kind of cool to see them do that sort of thing. I mean, yeah, I could go do without the whole screaming and stuff like that. I mean, I'll get plenty of that once it actually comes out and I play with 10-year-olds online. But yeah, it's. I mean,
You say it's cool. Are you not worried it's a little bit cynical? It's like saying, "Oh, give us your money for a multiplayer game. You know, give us your money for an esport and try and get hype up around that." When, like, really, we watch E3 for trailers and gameplay of games that we didn't know were coming, or
Right.
that might be different than we were expecting. And this was basically 30 minutes of watching the current Star Wars Battlefront that's out right now. I mean, maybe everybody who has played the first Battlefront might be able to pick out the differences. As someone who's only played a couple hours of the first Battlefront, you could have fooled me, you know?
Yeah, and I think what they were probably going for was, how do you show this in an exciting way? Because you're not going to have scripted events. You want to show how the online multiplayer works. And the first thing they thought of was, let's go to the whole esports scenario and we'll start drumming it up that way. But,
well, were you excited?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Josh,
I watched the trailer, but I didn't see the gameplay.
Oh, okay. Josh, did you watch a multiplayer gameplay?
Yeah, but I mean, again, so I mean, in theory, I don't mind the concept.
Well,
I mean,
it's not theory. You watched it. Did you enjoy it or not?
No, I'm saying, but it's not catering to me. Is my point.
It's all catering to me. I'm the one sitting down watching it. I get to choose.
And
that's kind of my point.
Have an opinion. Get off the pot.
No, I'm saying, like, if okay, Stevo, if they also went in and talked about Madden NFL 18. Were you excited about that?
I was excited that Mahershala Ali, did I say that right? I may have. Was in it. So they seem to be doing Spike Lee NBA 2K-esque storyline in Madden this year. I'm not sure if presumably you're a quarterback, or because that's the easiest position for them to do a story mode for. You would be a kicker, Elliot. But it seemed like it could be a good story. Am I excited for Madden? No, because I don't play that game.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Is that was the whole point? Is that it's
wait, you're not excited for Battlefront?
No, Madden.
No, you though.
Me?
I
wasn't excited I wasn't excited for the first one. I didn't care. I have
just not your thing.
I have a very high threshold of tolerance for Star Wars games because most of them have been utter shit. So I reserve judgment until later. Let's put it that way. When you guys were like, "Hey, Battlefront's on cheap," I was like, "Okay, I'll pick it up." Or was it free? I don't know. Whatever. It wasn't much.
Okay, well, Josh,
I played it one time and I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
Oh, but it's good though. Like, it's the gunplay is good. I don't know. It's approachable. It's not like It's not like Modern Warfare where you get in there and you just get your ass handed to you 6 seconds after spawning over and over and over again. Like you have some, even as a beginner.
Well,
like,
that's fine. My point is that going into it, I'm not excited for it. If it turns out that I like it, okay, great. I'm saying I don't have a whole lot of expectations going in.
My point is, this is an E3 conference, and comparing those two things, I thought it was really interesting that Madden had a story mode, and they showed you a little about that during the trailer. I thought it was very boring that we knew Battlefront 2 had multiplayer, and then they showed us half an hour of Battlefront 2 multiplayer. So in terms of the conference, that's how I would compare what they showed of those two games.
Okay.
The other thing about the EA conference that it kind of drove home to me was how little they're experimenting at the moment. Madden, FIFA, NBA Live. Well, you could say NBA Live is something new because the last one, they didn't even manage to get it out the door. If they get this one out, who knows? It could be a totally different kind of basketball. But
how does the project keep getting supported over there?
I don't know. And NBA 2K is a pretty solid game. I'm not a basketball fan in particular, but the career mode in NBA 2K16, I think it was, that I played a little bit, it was fantastic. They drop you in at different parts of the game. You get substituted in and you have to make passes, make shots. It really teaches you the technical side of the game in a really smart way. And it kind of, I know I'm finding that hard to, teaches you not quite the controls, but how to
it's like, hey, you've got to get this ball into that basket.
No, it's more like you have to play your position. Sorry for all the mumbling stuff. What it's trying to teach you is how to play your position. You know, if you're a point guard, you're looking for passes, you're looking for, setting up other people, finding the man in the paint. That's a basketball phrase, right, lads?
It is. It is.
Very, very good.
Look at you.
So
so far,
NBA 2K's career mode is really interesting. I don't know how I got onto that, but we'll see if NBA Live can do anything to shake up NBA 2K. I can't imagine they would. But yeah, EA in general, not experimenting much apart from the one game that they showed, which was totally unlike everything else, which was A Way Out, which I believe is made by the same developer that made Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which was a type of co-op game, but you played it by yourself.
Yeah, you played both. Yes, you played both Brothers by yourself.
Did you play it, Josh?
Yeah, I beat it. I liked it a lot. It took some it definitely took some getting used to with the controls.
You have to rewire your brain.
Yeah, but
you played it through as well, Elliot?
I don't think all the way through, but
no, I played a little bit and didn't finish it either.
It's pretty short, I think. I think I did it in like a day. It wasn't very long, but it was really good, and I liked the concept by the end of it. After I kind of got used to everything, it was a pretty decent story too, a little heartwarming. Well, heartfelt is probably a better term for it. So I'm kind of looking forward to A Way Out, though. I like co-op games. I think that if they're done well, they could be a ton of fun. Because especially if it's online co-op too. If it's just couch co-op, then okay, well, I just moved here and I don't really know a whole lot of people just yet. But online co-op with that game, I think I'd be down to be playing it. It seems like it could be a good idea.
Yeah.
So is this a survival horror? I didn't see this one.
No. So this is, you are two people in a prison, and what is it? Leo and Victor, I think. And you meet up in the prison and you decide to escape together. So you got to work together to get out. And I think you're on.
So it's a 2-player co-op. 2-player only.
Yes, 2-player co-op. And apparently it even extends further. So once you're out of the prison, you also have to evade the authorities. But it shows things like you can see the other guy's. The other guy might be like in a cutscene while you're out wandering around doing stuff. So it's pretty seamless. It's almost like two games running at the exact same time in parallel. But like you got to work together. Like, okay, one guy distracts this guard while the other guy goes in the back and steals this thing, sort of stuff like that. So it looks pretty interesting. I'm hoping that it's one, that they can keep that gameplay pretty fresh throughout the whole game.
Yep.
And two, that it's just fun in general. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, and if it wasn't for that in the EA conference, I think the EA conference would have been just a complete disaster for me.
It's really the only thing they put in their conference that I'm actually excited about.
I thought Anthem looked pretty good,
but they only showed the title of it.
They didn't tell, they didn't tell you anything about it.
There's a bit of gameplay. I saw a gameplay trailer. Maybe it wasn't at the conference, but there's this.
That was at the Microsoft conference, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we'll get to
I
that.
guess we'll get there very shortly here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, though, so the next one up was the Microsoft conference. The first thing that they really kind of brought up, and this was even before like the games were brought into play, and pretty big announcement coming from them. The rumored Scorpio finally came out. It's called the Xbox One X, or abbreviated to Xbox. And someone at the Microsoft branding side of the house needs to just stop. He needs someone next to him to tell him, no, we're not doing that. Stop. Because now we've got the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and now the Xbox One X.
Is this the most number of words in a console name ever?
New Nintendo 3DS.
Okay. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. So
never mind.
But they announced it. It's got 4K support. It's got backwards compatibility back to the original Xbox.
It's got 12 gig of RAM. It's got very impressive specs.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive, very advanced. It's got a leg up
decent
over the
price
PS4
point.
Pro. It's got the price point I think a lot of people were afraid of.
Was it $399 or $499? I forget.
It's $499 without a Kinect this time.
Well, I don't give a shit about Kinect. So
Tusk. Is it Tisk?
Tisk.
I think it's just tut.
Tusk.
Tut.
So
shame on you, Microsoft.
You got a mammoth here. Tusk.
Where's Kinect X?
Kinect. Jesus Christ. But yeah, and I don't know, when I was thinking about when they announced the whole backwards compatibility thing, I was actually thinking back to our last episode where I was talking about it. And I started realizing I think I'm in the minority more about backwards compatibility, and that people it's something that people always say that they want but then never use. And I feel like I'm a weird use case where I actually use it. So
I do too. I've played Red Dead Redemption and Outland, which was a great game, by the way, great platformer, and a couple of others.
Well, and one of the other things they brought up though was that the games are going to be Xbox and PC, which to me that sounds like a dumb move. Because
they said that a while ago, though. We've known.
I know, but they brought it up again. But the PC, if I have a good enough PC, and right now I do, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah,
spend money on a console.
So yeah, I mean, that was my takeaway from the Xbox conference is, the hardware was very impressive, beautiful. It's the smallest Xbox ever made.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
That's really cool. I expected a
great marketing,
monster
Elliot.
Behemoth. What?
Great marketing. Good job. Keep it up.
Yeah. I'm just glad there's no power brick, because if there was a power brick, just no.
And that's part of what made the Xbox S so impressive is it was the smallest Xbox at the time, and it had no power brick. It was all internal. So if they can still keep that up somehow, anyway. But the question is always, with every new piece of hardware, is games. What are the games? And that's part of the reason why backwards compatibility is so important. Because I kind of agree that it's something that people want more than they use, and maybe that's just me. I find myself not using it as much as I think I will want it, or I think I will need it. But
well, that's kind of what I mean more than anything else, is that they're excited about it. Like, oh, I can finally go back and play
right
Halo 1, and then they're like, yeah, but I got Halo 5 right here.
Yeah, you're not going to go back as often as you think you will. But it's important for a platform developer to do that, going from one platform to the next, because you just as a show of good faith, I think.
Yeah.
To your consumer base, it supported you throughout the whole last you don't want to say, hey, you can't play any of the shit that you.
It's added value, and if nothing else, it's a psychological draw for someone to buy that particular console thinking, oh yeah, that means I can sell the old console that I had. What I do find really interesting is, though, they kept referring to Xbox One, not Xbox One S, not Xbox One X, never differentiating between any of them. They would have up on the screen enhanced by Xbox One X. But as far as I could tell, they were really doubling down on the fact everything is still going to be supported. They're trying to build up that community of people on Xbox One platforms that currently PS4 has everyone. They have the vast majority of current gen gamers, and Xbox are trying to build that up. And I think what they have done is a really smart idea. I'm not sure. I can't predict how many Xbox One X's they're going to sell. But what I can say is they have differentiated themselves for somebody who's looking for a console and the most powerful one. If specs do matter, if 4K matters, if 60 frames per second matters, maybe they will pick up some of that market share from PS4.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how that's all going to work out, because I mean, really, if you don't care about 4K, for instance, and like for right now, I mean, my TV's probably big enough, but I don't think it actually can handle 4K. And I'd rather just get games that run at 60 FPS rather than 4K right now.
Me too.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm not all that super interested in it just yet. I mean, I think it's a cool idea, and it's nice to see that we're pushing the technical boundaries of where we currently are. But until we get to a point where it's necessary, I don't think I'm going to make that jump. Like the PS.
But wait, you're contradicting yourself. You're saying you want 60 frames per second. This machine would potentially give you 60 frames per second at 1080p, and then you're saying,
well, no,
I don't see what it's for.
No, I'm saying that it's great. I'm not saying. I'm also saying that I don't need it right now. It's something I want, but it's not something I can justify going out and buying a new console for just to get that upgrade right now.
Personally, I would sell my PS4 and get an Xbox One X if I could get all the same games or all the cross-platform games, all the multi-platform games, at 60 frames per second at 1080p. I would do that. As much as I love PS4 and I love Sony exclusives and I love the Sony online functionality, I would do that for the sake of 1080p, 60 frames per second. And that's just because once you play these games on PC, which all of us also do, that smoothness compared to trying to play Witcher 3 on a PS4 where it stutters at 20 frames per second or less, and it's just not as fun. I would sell my PS4 and get an Xbox One X if I truly believe that all of the games would be supported in that way. The problem is I don't believe it.
Would you not rather just spend $300 and get a GTX 1080 and blow the Xbox One out of the water and sell the exact same library?
Yeah. No, because as someone who fought with PCs all through my childhood, because there was only crappy PCs and boot discs, and
we're so much we're so far
we're
past
a little
that.
further along.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
it's like saying I don't like to play my PS4 because I got to blow in the cartridge.
I'm not saying that this is not a thing. It's completely 100% in my own head. But there's something different about sitting down, pressing the PlayStation button in the middle of the PS4 controller and starting playing a game than booting up the Steam link and playing something through that. There's something different.
That's how it works for mine. I just boot up the Steam Link with my with my DualShock and go.
Yeah.
Okay, I may be a crazy person. I'm not denying, but I'm just saying I prefer consoles now. I'll still sit down and play at the PC for keyboard and mouse. Totally worth it for first-person games and a few others. But something about playing a real console I prefer than worrying about booting up a PC, even with Steam Link.
And that's also kind of my point when it comes to the PC versus Xbox thing. Is one, I have a PC that can handle most of the stuff anyway, and two, I have games like what's the one they announced, Metro Exodus, I still haven't played Last Light, but I played Metro 2033 and loved it. But it's a first person game. Granted, it's not as hectic as many first person games like Doom or something. It's still pretty survival horror-y. But it's still something I prefer a keyboard and a mouse to.
Definitely.
But say what?
So no, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm saying I'm definitely looking forward to it because the first one was a lot of fun. I've really been meaning to get down and playing Last Light. And it looks like it kind of turns it on its head in this one. I think it's more open worldy, if you will. But the opposite is happening now. Like in the original game, you had to wear your mask when you were outside of the metro. In this one, you wear your mask when you're inside. Because the parts in the trailer they showed where he's out in the open world, he takes his mask off and he's looking around. So I think it'll be kind of interesting to see how you have to manage your oxygen then, or your mask count, if you will.
It's a beautiful looking game. It was really striking. The enemies looked so detailed, and it definitely. I haven't played the earlier Metros, and I own them both Steam sales, I'm sure, but. I'm gonna have to go back and play them. Josh, maybe you'll have to throw one in for me.
I'm thinking about it now. Thinking about it now. But so the first one, like from what when the time it came out, one of the things about it was that it was just a really detailed game. Graphics wise. So I mean, it still looks pretty good. And again, I haven't played Last Light, but I recall the videos and stuff about it. They do kind of keep that trend going, and Exodus looks like it's also doing the same thing. So.
Were either of you impressed by Forza? Another Forza, it's Forza 7 at this point, isn't it? Another beautiful looking game. They claim it's going to run 60 frames per second in 4K, didn't it?
Is Forza arcade or more 4K realistic? Well.
It's
because I prefer my racing games to be more like Ridge Racer and less like Gran Turismo.
It's more on the Ridge Racer side, just less. I think it is. I mean, I've only played the one that's free on the Windows 10 store right now. Forza Horizons something.
I think with all the driving assists, it can be a bit more arcadey.
I mean, it's a genre that I like. It's just not one that I go out of my way for. So it's
of all the things. So that was the first game they showed after revealing this, the most impressive, most powerful console ever made, and it was this CG demo of cars driving around, and just like what I mean, it was about as deflating as you could get, going from this high that they built to just like it was a little bland. Actually, later in the
but then a little later they showed an early access game that looks really awesome, right?
I was just thinking like Forza, and with it being as bland as that and showing just CG, Crackdown 3 was basically exactly the same thing, and these should be two flagship Microsoft properties. They should be blowing people away, but it just looks kind of like a video of something that you've already done before. And is it going to be any different?
I'll admit I missed out on Crackdown, but I really wanted to play it. So
it was a fun trailer. Crackdown 3 was a fun trailer. It had Terry Crews in it, yelling at the camera.
I mean, I saw the trailer. I meant the original games.
Oh, you never played them?
No, I didn't.
Did you, Elliot?
No, I haven't.
Wow, so none of us has played any of them, actually.
No, I think only the first one's meant to be any good.
I'd seen some friends play it. I just hadn't. I didn't have an Xbox at the time. Well, yeah, I did, but I didn't have the game for a little.
It's really strange though, because I think that one's been in development for quite a while. It's very weird that they haven't shown us proper gameplay trailer.
But that was my impression of the whole Microsoft conference. It was just, it felt like a whole lot of misdirection. After they showed the Xbox reveal, they had the Forza CG trailer followed by, hey, we're going to show you this brand new car that it was just like, so weird. Why? You were at a video game conference. We're not here because we like cars and we're hoping you'll show us a new Forza. We're here to see what this machine can do, and you're going to introduce a car. And then like the shilly audience like on cue whooping and hollering about this car. It was just like, it just felt so out of like, you're not speaking. Who are you speaking to?
In fairness, though, don't you think that car people and people are crazy about car games, they're crazy about cars, would be Xbox One owners because of Forza Motorsport, because of Forza Horizon. They would be. So maybe there are people there watching the conference who are going to go crazy when they see a brand new amazing Porsche that's never been seen in the world before.
But those people were actors that were in the studio. Like,
maybe they were.
Like, I mean, if they weren't actors, they were random audience members that were very well paid for their participation.
Well, I don't want to.
Some people do like cars, so I mean,
yeah.
I just thought the show and the presentation was really cheesy and pandery, and it was a whole bunch of we think we know who you are, but you're way off the mark. And maybe that's just me. Maybe most Xbox gamers are like that. I don't have an Xbox, but it was. I mean, compared to everyone else, it just didn't seem. It didn't seem honest. It felt like we have an Xbox to show you, but we don't have anything else to show you because it's going to run all the same games as that are already coming out that are going to be playable on your current Xbox. So instead of blowing you away with that, we're going to just make a big spectacle and show you all these other things.
Wow. I think you're being so harsh. I actually thought the Microsoft conference was brilliant. I thought it was really good. They showed us a new piece of hardware that was more powerful and smaller than anything we've seen before. Again, I'm more of a Sony fan for me. In general. I thought, okay, Forza was bland, Crackdown was bland. Why did they have a car? But possibly for massive Forza heads and car gearheads who play Xbox One. I say fair enough. But then they showed a lot of really interesting games. And that's where I thought...
play on PC.
That you can play on PC. But in fairness, I actually thought the amount of games that they trotted out and went through, they completely dwarfed Sony's conference, which was to come later. But I thought it was actually in reaction to Sony's last year, which was just games. And I think Microsoft kind of... were given a bad rap because of that, because Sony seemingly had much more games coming out. I actually thought a lot of the games that showed up in the Microsoft conference looked really good. Now, I guess we don't know how many of them were true exclusives, as opposed to saying like console first exclusive. Was that the phrase that they kept using? Or
I've seen console exclusive.
Console.
I don't know if I saw any console.
They had.
First.
I think they had. Josh, do you remember, was it console first exclusive? Basically saying that it would come out on Xbox before PS4, I believe.
Yeah. I think that was it. I mean, they've got timed exclusive stuff like that where it will come out on Xbox before it goes to other consoles. So.
Yeah.
I just thought the presentation was cheesy, but I do like everything after the Xbox One just kind of lost me, and the Xbox One part was amazing. It was a million times better than the PS4 Pro conference, which was just a snore fest and completely, just totally uninteresting. It didn't even seem like the people who were there wanted to be there. And I have no doubt that once the dust settles, the Xbox One X will trounce the PS4 Pro in sales.
I agree with that.
I don't think the platform overall will ever catch up to PS4, but they did a much better job showcasing their iterative.
So I'm kind of two minds here in the sense that I get what Elliot's saying. The Xbox One X, it looks cool and shows all these cool new technological advances, but then I feel like I'm able to dissociate the two. Where I'd be like, okay, yeah, they had a console announcement. Now let's talk about games, whether or not it's for that specific console or just stuff that already exists, then fine. I don't know. I just managed to push the two things out of my mind and just focus on one. So, and the games that they showed, I thought for the most part were pretty interesting. I mean, I think a lot of them are cross-platform, so not necessarily Xbox One exclusive, but I mean, stuff like Cuphead. Cuphead's been in development for a while now, but it's just gorgeous. I honestly cannot wait for this game to come out just to play it. I never wanted to play something that looks so much like an old Looney Tunes or an old 1930s cartoon so much. It looks great.
I hope it's good. I've heard a few reports that the level design wasn't up to much, and then I start worrying that this thing's going to be totally overhyped and end up with another Mighty Number 9 situation, and then we'll all be heartbroken.
Well, because part of what happened in development was they originally just it was just going to be like a bunch of different boss fights, and then people complained that it was just boss fights. That sucks. Give us some levels, and then so they're like, okay, fine, we'll throw some levels in there that they made. So that's why there might be a little dip in quality. Hopefully, they get that all ironed out beforehand. But it still is probably just one of the most interesting looking games I've seen.
Yeah,
and which leads me to the other super interesting one that they have, and which is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I finally started playing Ori and the Blind Forest, and I'm about halfway through it now, and it's just beautiful. And I don't know what these guys are doing with the artwork. Is the in-game artwork is just amazing, and Will of the Wisps looks like it does even more.
Who develops these? It's not Microsoft, is it?
It is.
Like Game Studios?
Is it? Yeah, I think it is in-house, isn't it?
Wow.
No, it's Moon Studios.
Why? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, sorry. Why them?
Yeah, that's not Microsoft
okay,
in-house. Okay. But so, and that's the sort of game, I guess, where I kind of am kind of interested to see what it looks like at 4K. But to me, it's not. The way it looks right now is already mind blowing. It being at 4K, we're starting to run into diminishing returns here, sort of thing.
Definitely.
So yeah, it'll still look amazing, and I'll probably still have my jaw open. But I already have my jaw open. I just I'm just now opening it a little bit more, sort of thing. So
yeah, and that's maybe one thing to say. I don't think I see any need for us to be chasing better and better graphics every time. Art direction trumps graphics. Look at Zelda. Look at Ori, absolutely. Look at Cuphead. Art direction trumps graphics. I would much rather developers focus on 60 frames per second than anti-aliasing and
I mean, it does trump. It does trump.
Sounds
but
like
I think
you need a Switch.
We'll get to that. We will get to that.
It does trump it in the long run, but you still need to make those advances so that you can make more advances in the art direction and stuff you can do that way.
Yeah. The conference was actually kind of cool. The demo that they showed of Ori, the composer was actually playing the piano over the top of it. It was quite cool. How
I missed that. Wow.
You should go back and watch these, Elliot.
I thought I watched the whole conference.
And again, I thought there were other parts in the conference, in Microsoft's conference, that the games themselves did the talking. I thought The Last Night looked amazing. It was pixel art, noir. Is it side-scrolling? Is it an RPG? I've no idea what the game actually is. All that I know is I want to see more of it. I want to play it.
I think it's like an alt-right game, though. That's like so. it was like the fastest milkshake duck ever. Have you seen that?
I don't know what that means.
So Milkshake Duck, it's someone like summed up like the news in like a tweet. It was like, look at Milkshake Duck, the adorable duck that drinks milkshakes. And then it's like 5 minutes later, we regret to inform you that the duck is racist. So it's it's like those when you find it, you love this thing so much, and then you find out terrible things about it. So
okay, well, after The Last Night came The Artful Escape, which again looked unlike anything I've seen before. It looks like it's a game about a kid who wants to be a rock star. I wonder, is it what do you call it? Music, sound shapes, and those
rhythm game.
Rhythm games.
Is it a rhythm game or is it just a side-scrolling platformer? But again, it looked fantastic. It looked really interesting. Not sure if there'll be much to it or if it'll have legs, but it looked like it definitely needed. I'll give it a go when it comes out, or I'll at least check out reviews.
I don't remember much about that one. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to even remember it. I remember Code Vein and The Last Night.
Code Vein, yeah.
The two that are bookending it, but I don't remember that one in the middle much.
Yeah.
Code Vein looked kind of interesting though, like the vampire. What's it? Cell shade? Was it cell shaded? I don't know. The cartoony kind of Dark Souls-y type thing.
Yeah.
It was made by the From Software guys. So
it was anime as well, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah. So
it's From Software.
Yeah. So it's kind of something I'm interested in seeing. Just the thought about it, or the thoughts behind it might be pretty.
But it's not a Soulsborne game, right? It's.
Oh, sorry. No, it's not From Software. It's Bandai Namco. Sorry. I don't know why I thought it was From Software.
very different. Well,
Oh, it's their publisher.
Because it's the same
what it is.
publisher.
Yeah, same publisher,
Yeah.
not the developer. My bad. I knew it was-
Yeah,
so
I'm dying to hear more about it.
Yeah. Oh well, guys. I mean, I think we covered most of what we wanted to talk about with Microsoft.
Can I mention another one? Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Not because I'm interested in it, because I'm wondering who's going to buy this kind of game. An online pirate game. I'm sorry, there was a pirate game again. So not to skip ahead here, but in the Ubisoft conference,
Skull and Bones.
And all that I'm thinking is, who is like, I need to be a pirate with my friends, you know? I just don't know who's. I can see why people want to do Destiny raids because they get to shoot aliens in the head. Why would anyone be like, oh, I got to round up 6 people so that we can go pirating on a boat in the 7 seas? You know,
think of all the booty.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, do they follow treasure maps and they have to work together to solve the puzzle and pick up clues, or is it just pillaging and looting
and it looked nice and the demo was kind of interesting, but all that I could think was, this is not going to have any longevity. Nobody is going to be playing this. What if
they're all looking for the legendary
week.
treasure of Big Whoop?
Who's the developer?
Sea of Thieves. It's it's Rare. That's right.
Oh, then it is going to be terrible.
How
to
are
me,
Rare
20 years ago would never have expected me to say that. But.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sea of Thieves. It might be interesting. I think it might be. I don't know. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. I just
don't know who it's for. I have no idea.
I would probably just end up shooting
gamers.
my friends out of cannons. That's probably what I would just be doing.
And then I guess, unless there's any others that you want to touch on, the Microsoft conference wrapped up with Anthem.
Yeah, do you want to go into more about that?
It's BioWare's new IP. It looks stunning.
That's amazing.
It starts off with one of your colleagues running. So you're in a market setting, and your colleague runs up and tells you he's done something, he's messed up. You have to come help him sort out a problem. You put on this big giant suit, which I believe was called what was it called? Do you remember what the suits were called, Josh?
I don't remember.
Oh,
God, giant robots are so hot right now.
And
between Xenoblade and Titanfall.
Okay,
and,
Mugatu.
Yes. That was the reference.
And you take off in this thing. You start flying through this beautiful world, going past all these crazy animals. You was there dinosaurs in it, Josh, or am I going?
You're asking the wrong guy. I only saw the CGI trailer. I missed the actual gameplay one.
Oh, I think that's all there was.
No, there was gameplay. There was definitely gameplay.
When I don't see a HUD, I assume.
It showed your character flying underwater and then coming back up, spotting a load of enemies, and your friend takes a flanking position and gives you cover, and you're firing these kind of missiles at all these enemies. You can see them being targeted. Looks absolutely beautiful. Looks fun. Then 2 more people jumped into the game, and it looks like they're your teammates, and you're getting a bit of a Destiny vibe at this point, and it looks like it's got a lot of potential.
It looks good. It looks way too polished for a BioWare game these days. Like I'm like, this can't be the BioWare we've come to know over the last 10 years.
I'm giving it a heavy dose of salt. We'll see. It's
I'm not expecting anything because it's BioWare.
Well, all that I will say,
me of 20 years ago would never have dated me say. But
all that I will say is that's the kind of trailers that we need at E3. It was exciting. It was beautiful. It gave you reason for optimism. Even if you had actually watched it, Elliot, maybe you wouldn't be so goddamn cynical.
I saw it. I just didn't think it was gameplay. I didn't see gameplay. I thought it was.
You must not have watched it through, but
maybe
it's worth go find it, check it out.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
As I say, I thought it wrapped up a really good conference for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was pretty good. Definitely one of the stronger showings this this
Man,
E3.
I feel like I watched a different show from you.
Although
guys.
I feel like the bar wasn't necessarily all that high, but still,
Yeah,
I would put it on a good side of things.
This was one of the more lukewarm E3s I've seen, and the Microsoft conference didn't, like, aside from the excitement of a new console reveal and how really impressive, legitimately awesome it sounds, the original Xbox BC as well.
Yep.
All that was great. The games they showed, I don't know, it was a lot of pomp. It was a lot of CG trailers. It was a lot of stuff that
Elliot, you're going to be getting
there's just no
like hate mail from all the Xbox fans.
No,
you know,
no
you Sony fanboy.
I just I felt like I was being pandered to, and they were missing the mark with like all the people in the audience wearing the exact same T-shirt, whooping and hollering about a car.
That's every conference you've ever watched, Elliot.
Developers.
I want to be respected a little more when I'm going to watch a conference.
It wasn't for you, Elliot. It was for Xbox fans, clearly.
Yeah.
I've got a 360. I can be an Xbox fan if they will have me, but they haven't. They don't want me.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, we'll leave Microsoft there.
Yeah. Let's
Josh,
it wasn't terrible.
Let's take a quick break before we come back to talk about Bethesda.
Sounds good.
All right. And we're back. So next up on the docket was Bethesda's conference, which
VR City.
Oh God,
Good Lord.
Josh, this one was after my bedtime, so I assumed you would watch it on the West Coast.
Yeah, so I watched it and it was okay. I am still not on the VR train yet. Wait once it becomes more. Well, first off, once it doesn't make me sick half the time, and once it's, I don't know, less. It's always seems like, well, let's just tack this VR on to this other experience and hope it works for the best.
There's no one that's really quite figured it out yet.
Yeah.
It's all really cool demos, but nothing like entering another world and you're this guy and feeling that heart pumping. You don't feel like
you're there. It's like, okay, so two of the ones they announced were Fallout 4 and Skyrim VR. And to me, that just sounds like, hey, we're going to throw you into this world where you can now do everything at half efficiency.
Yeah. Oh, and you can vomit in the real world at the same time.
So, yeah, I guess that's two great things. So
they should do a VR helmet with just like a barf bag attached to the mouth.
You know what the best part is?
Around and hurl.
Play this on PSVR because you know how good Bethesda are at porting things to consoles. I bet it'll be safe.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know there are some people out there that do like VR, and more power to them. It's Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Both of them are at depending on who you ask, are at least decent games. I mean, I like them both, but I know some people absolutely hate Fallout 4, even though I still think it was all right.
I was a little disappointed, but I was
disappointed, but I was still like, okay, I'll still play this. The other VR game they had was Doom, and it's not Doom VR, it's Doom VFR. And I can wager a guess as to what the F stands for.
They didn't actually tell you?
I don't think they actually did, but I'm pretty sure.
It's just V fucking R.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, BFG, come on. And so Doom VFR is actually, they didn't take the Doom game and just tack VR onto it. This is actually a separate standalone Doom game. And while I was watching the trailer for it, it's kind of interesting how they do it. I'm not entirely sure how that's actually going to feel when you're actually playing it, because the way it works is, yeah, you still have your controllers, to fire and aim your guns and all that. But the other thing you do is you don't walk. You don't run. You basically point at a spot, and then you kind of like phase shift there. You don't teleport. It's not fast enough. Like, it's not as fast as a teleport, and you're not actually like sprinting there. It's just like okay, now you're there. And then you just move from spot to spot while you're killing enemies. So it's an interesting take. I kind of wonder how that's going to work as far as motion sickness is concerned.
Apparently VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules.
I don't think in this case.
That is for planes.
Well, you're saying you just jump, yeah, but you're saying you jump from place to place. Maybe it's, yeah, probably not. Though.
I am glad you're not a pilot.
Not yet.
And so, yeah, it's again, it's one of those things where I'm personally not interested in it. If they could ever get VR to a point where it's truly immersive, and I'm actually kind of and I don't get sick by putting on this headset and trying to maneuver.
Well, what I've heard, Josh, is actually that if you warp to a spot and you're not trying to walk, you're less likely to get motion sickness. So I heard the Batman game worked very well because you were warping from one position to another,
really?
And then you were just looking around your current position. So when I saw this demo for Doom VFR, I thought maybe this has potential. Maybe this is how these games should work at this point, while the technology isn't, mature enough to actually be able to deal with a human being walking and us not puking all over the place while playing it.
I mean, maybe I just kind of wonder if it's actually going to work with Doom specifically, because I mean, as you've seen and played, or even watched me play, I'm moving all the time when I'm playing those games. I'm jumping, I'm strafing.
But didn't you actually think when you looked at this that this looks like a good representation of playing Doom without walking? I thought it was really interesting. I hope it works.
I don't have any tactile feedback on it because it was just a video, but I mean, it looked like they were playing Doom with this extra movement mode rather than actual just movement. So I mean, yes, in theory it looks like it works. I just don't know because I don't have hands on. So we'll see. I'll reserve judgment to actually playing it. I mean, it looks if it works, and if you're saying that motion sickness is a lot better that way, or well, not a lot better, but if you don't feel as sick doing it that way than by just walking, then fine, that's great. Apart from VR, though, they did some more stuff with Skyrim. They're actually porting Skyrim to Switch, so now you can play a 9-year-old game on your Switch.
I think they actually told us that about 4 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was a few months ago. Was that January? I
mean, I remember I've been hearing about it for a while now. I don't think it was that.
It was on the original Switch trailer.
Yeah,
they had Skyrim shown up.
I think that was the January, like the big Switch reveal.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Being able to play
forever ago now.
Being able to play an Elder Scrolls game on the go actually sounds like a lot of fun to me.
I think that might be the only way I ever finish one, is being able to play in bed and take it with me. And but the other news that kind of goes with, I mean, you're going down this Bethesda list: Fallout VR, Doom VR, Skyrim VR, Skyrim Switch. And then Bethesda says that they haven't even started thinking about developing Elder Scrolls 6 yet.
Yeah.
Just like, man, what's going... I mean, they have 2 other games that are in development, and they've really been hitting it out of the park with these, like, Doom, Wolfenstein, these old first-person shooter remakes, or not remakes, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All reboots. The properties, actually. Dishonored, Prey was well received.
Prey was them too. Yeah.
Bethesda are good at what they do, but it's kind of interesting that they're confident enough to have a conference when they don't have that many properties to show.
They had 3 new ones of their main of their properties. They had Wolfenstein 2, which looks great. I mean, it was just
looks amazing. That's the best trailer. Would you say it's possibly the best trailer of the entire E3?
It's
it was the funniest for sure.
I mean, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was good.
You can't beat a good axe to the neck.
Metroid Prime 4 was probably the best one.
Yeah, that had the best
It was
trailer.
the words. It was the words of Metroid Prime. Okay, we'll get there. Yeah. Anyway, Josh, what were you saying?
But I'm saying, so they had Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, which, I mean, yeah, they had the nice intro. First off, it was the weird ad with the robot dog thing attacking the cops.
Yeah, I was like, what am I watching? Yeah. Like, skip this video, YouTube. Where's the... And it just kept going.
But then they also had a new Dishonored. Death of the
They
Outsider.
didn't have a new Dishonored. They had an expansion.
Oh, an expansion pack. But I'm saying Dishonored's one of their big IPs right now. So I mean, it's not Elder Scrolls and it's not Fallout, but it's Dishonored. And then they also had the Evil Within 2, which I think Elliot might enjoy.
Did they do the? Okay, I'll figure it out myself.
So yeah, the Evil Within. I haven't played the first one. Again, it's a potential for backlog roulette, or possibly one that all three of us could play at the same time. Yeah. Josh, did you complete it?
I haven't touched it. Actually,
they did do Bethesda.
Yeah,
Bethesda
so that could be a good one to add to the list of games that we could all try to. And I don't think it's that long. I think it's maybe 8 or 10 hours. Would that be right?
Do I even have it? I don't even know if I have
it. You can pick it up for $5-6
so cheap these days. But okay. I've heard that you want to get the game of the year, like all the expansions with it, because they're worthwhile.
Cool.
Okay. Well,
we'll have to do that.
But and then the last thing with Bethesda was they announced the Creation Club, which
that's right.
What the fuck? So
yeah, what was that?
So they're basically announced like an online marketplace for mods, which if you've ever played Skyrim or Morrowind or Fallout or anything, you can go to ModDB or what's the other one? Mod Nexus or something, and there are tons of mods that are out there for free. I mean, I know this might be catering to more of the console crowd that doesn't necessarily have the access to the mods, but I mean, at this point, I don't know. There's so much out there that's already free and good. I just don't understand the appeal here.
The appeal to who? I can totally understand the appeal to Bethesda. I can totally understand the appeal to mod creators. So mod creators spend weeks and months and years building these amazing mods to totally change everything about the game. In some cases, they're basically expansion packs. They're whole new quests, whole new areas, and
some of them. A lot of them. While I agree that in some sense, I think no, because the thing. So a lot of the stuff with paid mods is that if you're not the original creator, like if you don't, if you're not Bethesda, you can't really. They don't want you making money off their stuff. So even if you're modding something and you put a ton of effort into it, you're still basing it on the original product that was created by Bethesda. So
that's understandable.
While I can understand their possibly some sort of compensation for them this way, and that's kind of okay in that sense, I just don't know. I don't see this being that successful, considering how used the community is right now is to being able to get mods at free.
Well, that's good. Last time they tried to do it, the community spoke and said they didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Basically,
and that might happen again. I assume what Bethesda are doing in this case is they're saying, we are going to curate the best of the best. We're going to make sure they're up to scratch, and then we will essentially sell them on to you and give the developers a fair cut. That's up to them, whatever they decide. Now, in theory, if you're getting curated content, then maybe you have to pay for it. I don't think it's going to be a complete shit show and asset flippers just throwing up the same thing that someone else did and trying to make a buck, and Bethesda being fine with that. I mean, I could be totally wrong there, but again, if that is the case, the community will speak and the brakes will be put on it once again. But it remains to be seen.
We'll see what happens.
I'm sure a developer could put their stuff up there for free too if they wanted.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean,
it's not necessarily.
Isn't that what Steam? Oh, but this is for consoles. As well. Oh, okay,
this is for consoles. So, and I don't know if this is fair to say, but it seems to me like the console community is more willing to spend more money on
potentially because it could be that or no mods for them. If this could be for Sony potentially, who didn't want to let mods on it at all and who blocked so many of them, maybe they're just looking to make sure that there is an authority saying these mods are good. We'll allow them.
All I know is most of the games that I actually want to go through and mod, which to be fair are a lot of Bethesda games because they're janky and bullshit out of the gate. I have them on PC, so this is a non-starter for me personally. I don't care about it at all.
I would never buy a Bethesda game on a console.
Yeah, never.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that was Bethesda. Did you guys see the Devolver conference? Because holy shit.
Nope, I didn't.
I think I saw a screenshot of a lot of blood and maybe someone with blood on their face.
So
it was weird that they even had a conference.
Yeah, I don't understand really the logistics behind it or why it happened or anything, but it's like 15 minutes after we're done here. You should go watch it because it's like David Lynch directed a game conference. It was just so absolutely insane. So they only showcased 2 games, Ruiner and Serious Sam's Bogus Detour, which both of them were they look like dual stick shooter games.
Do they look good?
I mean, Serious Sam was like a 2D pixelated type game, and Ruiner was more, I don't know, kind of reminded me of the new XCOM stuff, style graphics, top down, full 3D, things like that. But that wasn't the thing. The only thing everybody's talking about with Devolver right now is the conference itself, which stars Nina, who was their spokeswoman, who came out and, to a lot of applause. And then eventually she gets tired of the applause and she fires a gun into the air, reloads it, fires it a few more times, and then starts going. and then she starts talking about, then she goes into Ruiner. And then when she comes back, she starts talking about the thing is a whole big meta commentary on how these conferences are all just ridiculous ways for, companies to make money off of you. And so
that's what I'm saying. So CG trailers and shills in the audience.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yes.
This should have been the only thing I saw.
So, Xbox fanboys are coming for you, Elliot.
I hope so, because then that means we have more subscribers.
And then they have his next guy come out, and I honestly forget his name off the top of my head. I gotta go back and look it up. But he starts talking about, we've got this great new thing. We invented a technology where you could just throw money at your screen so that you could pay us for things that you want. And so they bring up a person from the audience who's obviously, he gives him a stack of bills. He says, here, just start throwing in the money. And then he throws it at the screen and it disappears. He throws it at the screen and it disappears. And then accidentally throws his arm in there and he loses his arm and there's blood gushing everywhere all over the woman standing next to him and the computer and himself. And then they move on to Serious Sam. And then they come back and they are talking about 2 more things. Now they have earliest access games. You can get games before they're even conceptualized. And they then pan over to a small interview with Suda51, who basically responds with, "Who the hell's Devolver Digital? Please get out of my office." And then comes back one last time, and they have one more thing to show off. It's comment created content. So it's like, are you pissed off about a game? Do you think you want something like dual wielding? Go on here and start typing, "I want dual wielding." And they show a video of a guy suddenly getting dual wielded weapons in game because of the comment. And so they bring up the same guy who lost the arm earlier to do all this stuff. And he starts getting
dual wielding.
Yeah.
That's cruel.
So he starts getting really into it. And then Nina, the main woman who's talking, starts screaming at everybody and yelling about the comment generated content, and then starts getting a nosebleed and then gets stuck on the word future, keeps saying future over and over and over and over until her head explodes. And that's it.
Sounds like a very interesting game advertisement.
It was quite possibly one of the weirdest things I've ever seen at an E3.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Was this weirder than the Konami 2010, was it? And
the head thing?
No, the guy who, the 1 million troops.
I don't remember that. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. Maybe it was Capcom. I can't even think of what the game was, but it was a sequel to some other game that didn't do that well. And the guy was just super eccentric up on the stage. And the 1 million troops was that he kept saying over and over again. That was the thing. You know what I'm talking about.
It's not coming to mind. So
I just can't remember. I'll find a link.
Just cut this out.
I will not, because I'll be vindicated in the future.
One day, Elliot. One day.
Yes, Elliot did not know what he was talking about. It happened, but he had no information. Good on him.
Okay, so what's up next?
So next up after Devolver, we had Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, depending on whatever the hell you want to say at
man,
any given
this
moment.
conference. This was a conference of highs and meh.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, no, I agree. There were definitely a lot of highs that I was not expecting to see from an Ubisoft conference.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, Elliot sent me that damn link.
Yeah, check it out. Click it, and as soon as you see the picture, you'll be like, "Oh,
oh, 99 Nights, that thing." Okay.
yeah."
I vaguely remember that now.
Yes. So was it weirder than that? Anyway, let's move on.
It was a little weirder than that, I'd say. So yeah, Ubisoft. Let's just get the first one out of the way, because the first game they showed was Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yes.
Which, in my mind, going up to this, I had seen like pictures of like the splash screen of it, and I'm going, "This is the dumbest goddamn idea ever. Why did they make this?"
That's what everyone said.
I know that. I'm not saying I'm alone. I'm just saying it's the dumbest idea.
I'm not saying you're not saying.
We got these minion knockoffs, and they're with Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom for some goddamn reason. Who the hell greenlighted this game? And then they start showing the game, and I'm like, I need this game.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. And I need a bit of an XCOM kick.
Yeah, it's Mario XCOM. What the hell? Who?
Somebody's a genius.
Yeah.
I've only got one question. What are Rabbids? And
so Rabbids came from Rayman. You know the Rayman games?
Yeah, so I played one of them, Rayman Legend Origins. Maybe I played a couple episodes.
There was a Rayman game called Raving Rabbids, I believe, and they were kind of like, I don't know if they were the antagonists or just some annoying things in the game, but they came from that. They're basically like minions. So just think minions when you think Rabbids.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it started out with like the Wii Rayman launch game, right?
Whichever one was called Raving Rabbids.
Yeah, that was the Wii one.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a Wii one. So that would explain the Nintendo tie-in. So they basically had a Rabbids game for Wii, and now they have this one for Switch.
Oh, they had a whole bunch of Rabbids games since the Wii one, and they went across all the platforms too.
There was like a Rabbids party game too, wasn't there? Like a Mario Party type game.
Probably, yeah. There's tons of them.
Funny that I completely missed all of these.
Yeah.
Were they just terrible?
Pretty much. I haven't played one. They never interested me.
I mean, they might have been, but I think it was just that no one cared. Because again, it's that whole minion effect. If you're not a middle-aged woman or my wife, then you're not all like, "Oh my god, minions!" So, yeah.
Did you see that, like, in the audience when they were showing this gameplay demo, and everyone was loving it? They had one of the, I think it might have been like the lead developer or designer or something like that in the audience. They made him like stand up and take a bow.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was in tears. Yeah. It was so like, oh man.
It's just,
could you imagine like when that game is first announced, like the shit you're gonna get?
Yeah.
People like, this thing you've been working on forever. Maybe you're a developer and you love games and you're working on a Mario game and you're like, this is my fucking chance. This is my dream come true. I'm gonna make it the best thing ever. And then you just get shit on. And you go to E3 and you see the gameplay trailer and everyone applauds. You're just like, the guy was overcome emotionally.
Well, leading up to this, he's been telling all his friends, he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on a Mario game and Rabbids."
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not even and Rabbids. It's plus Rabbids.
It's plus.
That might have been the thing that bugged me most about the entire trailer.
But yeah, it's a game that should not exist, and it looks fun as hell. I don't know.
It looks really good. It looks really polished. It looks really fun.
As you mentioned, though, Josh, the only thing that's a little bit worrying is the Rabbids' sense of humor.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it might get old after a while, but at least at this point, I'm kind of used to that sort of thing with all the minions hysteria.
The selfie. So, the Princess Peach with the selfie. I saw that in every trailer.
The flip. Yeah.
I'm not too sure about that at all.
As long as the game is good, like I Borderlands 2, the humor in that one kind of grated on me after a while, but I got used to it. So, all right. So moving on though. Again, why does that game exist? Next up was Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I've
got a comment. Why does that game exist?
Which one?
Assassin's Creed. Why do they still exist?
You're asking the wrong guy. I've not played any of the Assassin's Creed games.
I tried to play the first one and was bored out of my mind. And then I think I tried to play one of the others and again was bored out of my mind. Elliot, what do you think about them?
I hear the second and third ones were good though.
I've never played any of them, but yes, I also have heard two, not the third one, but Assassin's Creed 2 and the two that came after it, the spin-offy ones, Brotherhood and
Unity.
No.
Syndicate.
No. It was the ones that came before 3. So Assassin's Creed was like complete shit. No
was
one
there
liked
a
it.
Revelations or Revolution?
Yes.
Or
that was the Vita one.
Brotherhood and was it?
Revelations was the Vita one.
Where was the one that you're thinking of?
No, you're right. I'm wrong. Go ahead. Never mind.
Yeah. So then it was Brotherhood and it was Revelations. And that 2 Brotherhood and Revelations, like the main character is Ezio, and that's like his story. And those are supposed to be some of the best, not only Assassin's Creed game, but like the best games in that genre that there are. And then 3, everyone hated. 4 was supposed to be pretty good. The Black Sails one,
Black Flag,
yeah,
Black Flag. But then the ones after that have just been pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
from what I've heard. I haven't actually played a single one.
Everything about them, the way it controls, the climbing, the combat, everything about it is just bland and average. And I don't know, nothing sets it apart. It doesn't have the bite of the Batman games in terms of combat. The climbing isn't as fun as even Uncharted or Tomb Raider. But anyway, sorry, I shouldn't be shitting on Assassin's Creed. Did anyone actually watch that trailer? I
watched I was watching the Giant Bomb Talks Over thing, and the thing they mentioned that actually it was something I was thinking when I first started watching it, and then they finally vocalized it, and that it looks like they're going down almost like a Far Cry route. Like up at the top, you could see your compass HUD with question marks for like, I guess, unexplored locations. And instead of like, going to assassinate someone, it looks like you're going into this base and he was like clearing it out. Yeah. So that's seriously,
how lazy are Ubisoft getting? They just do the same thing in every single game. Watch Dogs, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, they're all the same game. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
But how's it different from Elder Scrolls and Fallout?
Well, that's
pretty much all the same game.
I know that's fine if those want to be them, but is that what Assassin's Creed's trying to be?
I don't know.
That's my point. I have already come to accept that Elder Scrolls and Fallout are more like that now. But I mean, it's up until this point, I don't think people played Assassin's Creed that way. I'm pretty sure they were relatively self-contained stories, not necessarily open world so much as like a hub world type thing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like Fallout's always been open world, Elder Scrolls has always been open world, but Assassin's Creed is the kind of like merging Fallout or Far Cry with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And
if you go back to last year's Syndicate, I'm positive it was open world. It was Ubi world.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah, definitely 100%. Anyway, that's just me ragging on Ubisoft. I'm just saying again, that was one of the low points. I just don't know. And I guess this is my thing about EA and Ubisoft and the Activision game, Call of Duty. People buy the same game every year.
Yeah.
EA, FIFA, Madden, NBA, if it ever comes out. The same games that you bought every time over. And Ubisoft has so many of them. Assassin's Creed and Far Cry as well. I remember playing Far Cry 3 and really enjoying it at first, and then just realizing I'm doing the same thing over and over and over.
Come on, but now you're playing Zelda and climbing towers in that game.
Zelda, every encounter feels different. Zelda, every area feels different, and you're playing it just for the joy of how it feels. Far Cry is generic Ubisoft, and it doesn't have charm and it doesn't have invention. For me, it's just the same thing with slightly better graphics. So what about I guess this year Far Cry 5 is making waves because it's about
Montana
fundamentalist Christians or
it's some sort of, they don't specify. It seems to be, they claim it's some sort of cult. I mean, yes, there's definitely some like constitutional nationalist, constitutionalist, Bible thumping, crazies there that seem to be making up the bulk of whatever the baddies are. At least that's where it seems to be hinting at. I kind of liked the idea of the game. I mean, I haven't played a Far Cry. I played a little bit of Far Cry 3. I didn't play any of 4, and I played a little of the very first Far Cry. So I'm kind of actually interested to see what they do in an American setting rather than like some tropical island or what was Far Cry 4? It was like the China Highlands or something like that. Or Tibet. Was it Tibet? I think it was Tibet. So the setting itself is kind of interesting to me. I'm kind of curious to see how they do it. Then they also added it looks like you can have teammates now.
I think they had that in Far Cry 4 actually.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
There was co-op in it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is co-op so much as AI guys, because they had the guy pointed like a water tower, and he had a sniper friend, and the sniper friend went up to the tower, and you could tell the AI where to snipe here and there. Yeah. So
has anyone ever found that interesting in Half-Life 2 or in what was the one that you played on PS2, Elliot? It was Star Wars Battlefront, was it? Did that have squad-based tactics?
Yeah.
Did you ever find that interesting? I always found just actually playing as the lone gunman and doing my quest was much more interesting than pointing and telling someone go take cover here.
I mean,
I've never used those. I can't think of what other game I played, but I know there's been a couple where it's
Rainbow
just like,
Six. You played any of the Rainbow Six games? Because that's
totally different. That's a tactical game first, and you even didn't you have to make plans before you go in, or was that just the original Rainbow Six?
I mean, kind of. I haven't played a lot since like the first set of Rainbow Six games. Not once they hit like what the hell, Vegas and Siege and all that. I didn't play those, but I played like the original Rainbow Six and the ones that were like right after it.
I just played the first one ever, and it was basically putting markers on the floor, tell this team to go here and wait for a go, and then which was really fun. But yeah, actually during
I mean, it just depends on how good the AI is. If the AI is terrible, then it's going to be terrible. If the AI works just fine, then it works fine. Like if I go back to Persona 3, I beat Persona 3 just fine, despite the fact that people seem to have issues with the AI. I didn't have any issues, mostly because if you use the tactics button, then you can somewhat control them. So yeah, it just depends on how it's all implemented. We only caught a glimpse of it during the trailer, and the trailer was definitely very scripted and very CG. So there's not necessarily too much that can be gleaned about it, but we'll see.
Yeah, but, I wouldn't be in much of a rush to get that one, even if an Ubisoft, one of a series gets a huge score. It's just hard for me to believe that it's going to be any better. It's like Pro Evolution Soccer getting a 9 one year, or FIFA getting a 9 point something. It's still hard for me to believe that it's going to be any more interesting than the last year's one. Well, but then I'm a cynical bastard.
Yeah. Well, but I want to go back to one of their highs though. So one of their highs that I am looking forward to, and I know you guys are looking forward to, is South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Hell yes.
The first game was absolutely.
I thought you were gonna go in a totally different direction.
We'll get to that one.
I was fully expecting Beyond Good and Evil. I was like, "What? Wait, what?"
We'll get to that. We'll get to that one. But this one counts too.
Zero interest in this.
What?
In South Park?
Yeah.
Oh,
did you play the first one?
No.
The first one. It's absolutely hilarious. The gameplay
Backlog roulette.
The gameplay is okay, but it is so goddamn funny. I mean, yes, you should. This is right up your alley. It's all juvenile humor.
It is. Really good.
I don't play games for jokes. I play games.
This is okay. This is one of the places where I feel like game developers are actually kind of letting us down. Well, they're getting better and better. A lot of indies have a bit of comedy in there. I think we cover this in our future episode, which we recorded out of
episode 5.
But we talked about a few funny games. Seriously, Elliot, for your own sake, go play South Park. It's completely juvenile, but it's really, really funny. It's well written. It keeps you
Okay, you convinced me. I'll stop playing The Last of Us.
No, damn it.
South Park because
so they had the trailer for it, but then IGN also had an 11-minute hands-on thing. Do not watch that while you're at work. But it's basically the main character and goddamn, what the hell's his name? Steve or Scott. That's the kid that's got diabetes. Anyway,
Scott Malkinson?
Yeah, Scott Malkinson. Thank you. Yes. I'm Scott Malkinson. I had diabetes. And so you and Scott are infiltrating a strip club in order to find Classy, who's the prostitute that you spell her name by. There's a C that fucks the L out of the ASS into the I. And you need to get into like this VIP room in order to extract information from these two drunk guys who are in there. And in order to do that, you got to do a lap dance minigame. Yeah, it's about as really absurd as you could possibly imagine. So again, don't watch it at work. But it looks like it's going to be just as absolutely off the wall.
Are these
as the first
RPGs?
One. Yes.
Are they,
yes.
Yeah. Turn-based RPGs?
Yes.
Turn-based with a little bit of quick time involved, or what would you call it?
Yeah, a little bit. This one seems like it's got grid-based movement in the battles. So,
yep.
Oh,
but yeah,
this is a game I'm never gonna play.
All right, I'll stream it.
I'm not gonna get like I just have too many. I mean, I've put off The Last of Us for this long. Do you think I'm ever going to get to South Park?
But Elliot, it's amazing what backlog roulette will do to you.
But in the first game,
I'm playing The Last of Us now, aren't I?
But in the first game,
I don't know. You sound like you're still not playing it.
You get to abort a giant Nazi baby fetus in the first one. All right, Elliot, how about you tell us all about the one game you thought I mentioned?
I thought you were going to mention the long-awaited, long-anticipated, announced, canceled, re-announced sequel to the Ubisoft classic
Mirror's Edge.
and then you find out that it's a prequel.
Same thing. I mean, it's a continuation of the story that we've been wanting for a very, very long time, and it looks incredible. And
I haven't played the first one, so
yeah, tell us about the original, Elliot.
Just a quick synopsis.
Actually didn't finish it. I got a few hours into it, and like the HD edition that they redid.
Yeah.
I know that you are a young lady who takes pictures of things, and you've got a boat, and you go on adventures, and you know, a pig mechanic, and it was very charming, very fun.
Pig mechanic sounds like he does work on pigs. He fixes them up, fixes broken hips and stuff.
He might.
I actually did finish Beyond Good and Evil, and it is a really great game. It's the graphics pop in a way that not many games from that time do, and the story's really, really fun, and it's not that difficult in terms. The combat is kind of straightforward, and it's a pretty easy game in general, but it's fun, and it's got a really fun story and a really interesting world. So really kind of looking forward to the second one. The only thing I worry about it is that will it just not hold up? And I made the joke about Mirror's Edge because everyone said that they wanted a follow up to Mirror's Edge, and then the second one came out and absolutely nobody bought it. So
I bought it.
It came out to like no advertising or anything whatsoever. Just showed up one day.
I didn't even know it was out. And like a month ago, I went to Target and they have that the end caps are usually bargain bin, and I saw Mirror's Edge Catalyst for $6 and I bought it. It's like, I didn't even know this was out. What the hell happened?
So
did you play it?
Yeah, I played like an hour. It was pretty good. But
the thing that I remember the most about the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer was fuck motherfucker.
Yeah,
was there lots of swearing in the first one? I didn't think
there was any.
My guess is there probably wasn't, because it came out so long ago. I think that was kind of before people started introducing swear words that much into games.
It was before Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, so yeah, it just kind of stood out to me because the monkey, every single thing he said I mean, I swear like a sailor, so I wasn't like turned off by it or anything. It's just stood out to me.
Yeah.
So,
and it was just obviously it's very early in development, and there's probably no gameplay even designed yet. It was just a fun little CG trailer, but
look at what we could make.
Yeah.
Again, it was a high point in a bit of a strange up and down conference.
Yeah. And that's it was in stark contrast to the next one, which was Sony, which overall was to me a big load of yeah, that's neat, I guess.
What?
I mean, they had some decent stuff. Like the first game
you liked the Microsoft conference, but you didn't. I mean, like I didn't think Sony blew Microsoft out of the water, but it was better. It was more original, exclusive content.
Elliot, I actually disagree with that. I think Microsoft, just in terms of their conference, what they showed and how interesting it was, I thought it was better than Sony. And I'd call myself a Sony fanboy. The Last of Us is the greatest game ever, hands down.
But Sony had real people in their conference. They had they had real like audience members. They weren't. It wasn't this scripted, heavily controlled.
You gotta stop this,
product.
Man.
Yeah, but I'm talking from a content perspective.
What the hell?
They had okay. Let me just go.
I'm talking about the presentation.
Okay. I mean,
and content wise too. Like if you take the Xbox out of it and you just look at the games, I enjoyed Sony's more.
Okay, so talk about them. Which ones blew your mind?
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
I mean, I love a good Uncharted game, so I'm definitely on board. And give me more Chloe and Nadine. I'm on board.
Yeah,
and it's a game you can't play anywhere else. It's a game that you have to get
true
a
exclusive
Sony system for, and not to say exclusives are the only thing that matter, but Microsoft showed off a new console and then didn't really impress after that in terms of what you could do with it.
We get it. You hate Xbox.
That's not what I'm saying. and then Sony comes out and shows their games that will look even better on the PS Pro, and I don't know. There's 3 games in here that blew me away, and 2 of them are like in my top 3 of the whole show.
Okay, so, what were they?
God of War and Spider-Man.
Yeah, both looked amazing. God
really
of War.
I didn't think God of War showed off that much though.
Well, I think they were trying to hold some back. They had already done the trailer. Was it at a PSX? Was it a PlayStation Experience that they showed it last, or was it at E3?
I might have been last E3.
I think it was last E3.
Was it?
It was just E3. This really long trailer that, and it seems so different now. I think maybe I'm just not remembering the trailer.
Now you get Jormungandr, or however you pronounce that, the World Serpent.
Yeah, it's it seemed like the first set of God of War games were very gratuitous, and they loved it. They embraced like the blood and the sex and like everything gross. That's what it was about. But this one is like, we're going in a new direction. We're slowing the pace down. We're getting inside each other's heads. We're going emotional. And it was like, that's what they're trying to show us this time. You know, like he's grown up, he's lived, he's got more important things to worry about.
Kratos, you have a son now. You can't molest everything that moves.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that stops him, but I haven't played the game yet. So I just, the way it looked.
It looked fantastic.
And maybe I'm a little, I don't know if bias is the right word, but these games impressed me more, I think, because I came in not caring at all about them. They were 2 games that I didn't even know were going to be at E3, and I forgot existed. I played the original, all the earlier God of Wars, but I'm tired of the formula. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
And so these kind of just totally blindsided me. And
well, for me, God of War has never interested me at all, because it just seemed like button mashing and do the same moves, or learn this combo, do this combo,
QTEs.
Learn another combo, do this other combo, then do QTEs. But now that it seems like there's a bit of a story to it, seems like there's a bit more depth to it, I'm definitely interested, you know?
Yeah.
And Spider-Man as well. Was this your best of show, Elliot?
Taking a quick look at the other ones. It's between Spider-Man and Mario Odyssey for like the most impressive, or I don't want to say Mario and Rabbids, but that's top 5, I'll say. But Spider-Man was so fluid and smooth, and they made it look so much fun to be Spider-Man, and they let you actually be Spider-Man. It didn't seem like there was anything held back. It was everything that Spider-Man is, and it's all at your fingertips. It reminded me a lot of the Batman Arkham games, where they just nailed Batman in so many ways. And it's a different developer, but you could have told me it was Rocksteady, and I'd believe you. But
I'll give you Spider-Man. Like the combat and stuff looked really good. And I mean, as I was watching it, I'm almost like, man, it's like the bad guys didn't even have a chance. Do I really have all these options at all times?
I'm worried it's going to be too easy now.
Yeah. But then my expectations were tempered with the bane of my existence with games, QTEs. So
there's a bunch of those for sure. You're right.
So I'm actually quite excited for it, but those annoy the shit out of me. So we'll see. How about the other amazing game they had? Final Fantasy 15, Monster of the Deep, Fishing VR. Was anybody else blown away about that as I was? Oh my God, I can fish in VR.
Well, you are a Final Fantasy head. You never know. Maybe this would be the thing that gets you buying VR, Josh.
No, I don't give
Gonna
a
have
shit.
to get it.
The fishing in Final Fantasy 15 was okay. I don't give a shit.
Is it canon though?
Stop talking about it.
Final Fantasy canon.
Who gives
What
a
if
shit?
there's extra trophies, Josh? You've got 100% trophies as in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I got the
Maybe
platinum.
you need to get it.
I got the platinum. It's done. I don't need any.
But it's not
It'll be
100% if the
Who gives a shit?
there's an add-on.
Who gives a shit?
That's gonna bug you. It's gonna bug you forever.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys. So, what is your opinion of Days Gone? Because to me, it's I think it's interesting, but I also feel that like one, I'm going to be comparing it to The Last of Us the entire time.
Yeah.
Two, I'm worried that it's going to be very scripted. Like I was reading some stuff. They were saying, it's this relatively open world, and so a lot of these things are supposed to be relatively dynamic, but like the stuff they showed in the trailer, like that was pretty cool, being able to use the horde of zombies to run off that camp of bad guys so you can go rescue the one dude. But I don't know. I've got just like this niggling feeling in the back of my mind that it's not going to be the same when you actually get to play it.
It definitely leans hard on The Last of Us. It's got that grim, much bleaker, more washed out design that The Last of Us has. Now, can it stand out? Sony's exclusives, they tend to be able to stand out. Horizon is a great game in itself. If Days Gone can do the same, and the one thing that I thought about it was that its characters seemed a little different, at least. Again, stuck in this gritty world and, having to do what it takes. So again, a bit of a Last of Us vibe, but definitely potential for younger and also like part of a motorcycle gang. It has the potential to be good. Right now, I'm completely reserving judgment.
Yeah, for me, it's just something that I know exists, and I'm just going to wait for reviews because I just don't know.
Yeah, and when you talk about it being scripted, in a way, isn't The Last of Us scripted? In a way, isn't Uncharted scripted? Sometimes you have to wait. You have to go pick up certain things and put certain things certain places, and otherwise you can't get to the next cutscene.
But those aren't open world games.
True, but I would say you haven't played Horizon yet. Well, you just picked it up, did you? Check it out. I'm guessing potentially Sony's Santa Monica could have learned from Guerrilla in the same way that everyone has learned from Naughty Dog. It seems like Sony games do tend to, and Sony developers do tend to learn from each other. So I'm still pretty optimistic about Days Gone.
Yeah,
I'm just.
Go ahead.
I think the genre has really worn itself out. I mean, it's when was it? Like, when was Left 4 Dead? I mean, when did the zombie thing start? And it's just like, I thought it was wearing out its welcome when The Last of Us came out. My first response when I saw the trailer was another zombie game, and it turned out to be very, very good. But we've had so many more even since then, and it's just like, I don't know. It's and it's another, and this is maybe this is stupid, but it's another game or property where about zombies where they don't say the word zombie, and it's
Yeah.
it's a stupid nitpick. I get, but it kind of takes you out of the immersion, because if there was a zombie breakout in real life, that's all we'd be calling it. Like, we wouldn't come up they call them freakers in Days Gone, and it's like, you're just trying to think of another like
another
noun.
term for it,
Yeah, like,
okay, humor me for a minute. I'm just gonna list through a few of the games at these conferences and just have a little think about what's going on in my head. So, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Need for Speed Payback, Battlefield 1 expansions, Madden NFL 18, FIFA 18, NBA Live 18, Forza Motorsport 7, easy for me to say, Metro Exodus, State of Decay 2.
Sequels.
So
yeah,
all of these games,
iterations.
Fallout 4 VR, Skyrim Switch, Dishonored expansions, The Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2. The one of the saddest things about this E3 has been like everything at Ubi that I was bitching about earlier. Yeah, we've seen so much of this before, and Days Gone, so like The Last of Us. I don't know. Everything is treading old ground, and at this point, should we be expecting more from E3, or should we just go to PAX and look for amazing indie games and just give up on E3 altogether?
Did you not see Moss VR with the little mouse with the little scarf and the sword? Oh my god, it was adorable.
It does look pretty good.
This is one thing that I did appreciate about the Microsoft conference, was that did seem like there's some more original IPs in there. Like Ashen looked really good. Sea of Thieves, even though we were just ragging on it.
But definitely, Tacoma, Cuphead.
Yeah.
Code Vein looked amazing. I thought it looked so striking.
The Artful Escape, and you guys mentioned
The Last Night as well. But then Josh told us we weren't allowed to like it.
No, you can like it. I don't care.
No, what's the one that's the prison escape by the guys?
Oh, yeah. A Way Out. That was EA.
A Way Out. Yeah. Oh, that was EA. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So I guess that was one of the tougher things about the Sony conference. All of these games we did already know about. There were no big surprises. There was nothing.
There was one surprise for me, which was Shadow of the Colossus for PS4, because that is an absolutely completely unnecessary game, but I need it now.
Yeah.
Because the original Shadow of the Colossus is just a milestone in gaming to me. It's fantastic. But the thing is like it had, the controls were okay, but the frame rate was, if you're lucky, it was like 20-25 frames per second most of the time. Once this Colossi got on screen, like, it started getting pretty choppy and stuff. So it being on PS4 and running at smooth frames per, I don't know if it was 30 or 60, but whatever, at a constant frame rate and just looking really pretty.
It better have been 60. Fuck.
I know.
For PS2 remake on PS4.
I know. I'm super excited to play that again. And maybe
actually, Josh, I've got a demand of it as well. I need it so that when you beat a Colossus, you're not sent back to that main hub and have to run through the same areas.
That's not going to happen. It's part of the story.
No, it's not part of the story. I don't want it to happen.
It's part of the story.
I don't have time for this. That's why I gave up on it. I think I beat 4 of them.
There's 16 of them.
It just kept sending me back there. I was like, I'm not doing this another 4 times that.
You got to go into a different direction. And no, you got to
a different way.
You got to do it 12 times. And it sends you in a different direction. It's not all in the same way. It's the tower's like in the center of the world.
I'm a very impatient man
about the game, but that wasn't one of them. But
yeah,
I have to say though, the remaster looks pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not a full remake, but it's more than just an upscale.
I mean, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's some technical things they're doing to make it better, but as far as I know, at least I haven't heard anything about there being any extra content. I know there were rumors back when the original game came out that there was like some unfinished colossi that were left out of the game. So maybe we'll get lucky and they'll add those in, but I haven't heard anything. So
the other standout for me in the Sony conference was Detroit.
Yeah.
I know it's a David Cage.
Yeah,
sorry, David Cage.
Yeah,
Is that really? Is that how it's pronounced?
He does pronounce it differently. Yeah, but I know his games are hit and miss. I know sometimes they control a little awkwardly, but if that story lives up to its potential, like it does sound like an amazing idea. So androids are basically the servants of the human race. They do all the menial tasks, and I assume one of them has contracted a virus which has allowed him to be free of his controls, and he is able to spread this by touching other androids. And it just seems like it's going to be a really, really fun story. Well, interesting story.
It sounds like a great game for me to watch someone else play on YouTube or Twitch.
Okay, I'll stream it, Josh. But yeah, I just hope it controls a bit better than previous David Cage games.
Yeah,
that's all we could hope for.
I like the David Cage games. I don't know. I know what I'm signing up for.
Rotating the stick to open a doorknob, and
I'm signing up for a movie that I am interacting with, and I don't know. Like
press X to Jason, Elliot.
Yeah,
press X to Jason.
With pleasure, Stevo.
You can do that for me. So before we move on to Nintendo, I want to touch one last thing, which is Undertale, which is now coming off the PC finally, and is going to be coming to PS4 and the Vita. Why? I love my Vita, but really?
I'll tell you why, Josh. Because people will buy it.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not perfect for it, but I'm saying it's largely a dead system.
It's not a dead system if people who own that system buy games, and the attach rate for Vita is huge.
What games are you buying for your Vita?
I bought one recently.
What did you buy? Axiom Verge?
Yeah. Boom. That's my most recent one.
That's what I'm going to buy soon as well.
It's good. It's so hard. I wish I didn't buy it on Vita.
It's $10 right now. I'm so tempted to pick it up this minute.
Get it on. So it's crossplay, right? So I played it on. I started on Vita, and I got to a boss, and I just couldn't get past. It was just too hard with the controls. I'm not dexterous enough on the Vita, but when I switched to the PS4, I blew through them. So
cool.
Like that's something I'm going to be playing more on console, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
again, I feel like we're in the minority now at this point, but okay, I'll just leave it at that.
Any other loose ends to wrap up from the Sony conference, Josh?
I mean, nothing major, I don't think. I think we covered most of the big things. I mean, there's Destiny 2, but I've got Stockholm Syndrome, or PTSD rather, so I don't think I need to go back into that one.
Call of Duty, Marvel versus Capcom, all things that we'd heard about, but nothing really, just short trailers, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, and so the last conference of the show was Nintendo's conference, which, guys, I think Nintendo won.
Minute for minute, the amount of content that they gave us was the most like condensed. Like I was disappointed in how short it was. I wanted a more thoughtful.
Well, yeah, they only did half an hour, right?
Yeah, it was very short.
But all the shit they gave us was.
Ellie, you played Xenoblade, right?
Not all of it,
but
it's a long ass game.
Well, yeah,
I've got it and I've played it.
So go in. What do you think about Xenoblade 2?
So, hard to tell. Like again, was it mostly CG trailers? I can't even remember right now.
It was a lot of characters talking in English and American accents.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had American. Yeah, so it was that CG trailer, and
then there was a little bit of action, which actually looked really good.
That's what I'm trying to remember, if there was actual battles there.
Not in the conference, but I saw some people that were playing it later in the Nintendo Treehouse that they played for like 30 minutes.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks good. The first game was so ambitious, and you just don't get JRPGs like that anymore. That old like Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 12 even style of like a scripted JRPG that we used to play back in like the PS1 and PS2 eras, like that those have died off in favor of the Western RPG and the like the whole Japanese development community has just taken a long time to catch up in the HD era, and Xenoblade is one of the few IPs that is around and is doing a really good job of it. So of course I'm very excited to see that as a big fan of JRPGs. And
what I would ask is, because I don't know anything about this series, or is there multiple different series of Xenoblade? Like, is there Xenoblade Saga and Chronicles, and is there or is there just Xenoblade 1 and 2?
No.
So it's Xenogears was the PS1 game that kind of started the Xeno prefix, and that was the only one technically. Like, they're not really all connected. And then for PS2 they did Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3, which they say isn't connected, but there are themes that continue on. Yeah. And then Xenoblade is completely unconnected. But now you said you saw. Did you see?
I wasn't there.
Looking down.
So when you
Chronicles,
saw Zohar.
So when I asked you that when we were watching it, the girl in Xenoblade 2 Xenoblade 2, the little green light emblem or whatever that was on her chest was the shape of the Zohar, which is why I was like,
okay,
are these connected somehow? Because I don't know anything about Chronicles or Xenoblade 1 rather. So
might be like a spiritual thing, but
probably.
Like the original Xenogears, the people who wrote it released this compendium of the entire world story, and it comprised of 7 episodes, and
6
of which
episodes.
Xenogears was 6 episodes,
Yeah.
of which Xenogears was episode 4 or 5, and then
5.
Xenosaga was supposed to be the first episode, and it was going to go through the first 3 or something like that, and then they changed it halfway through development and made the second one a direct sequel and the third one a direct sequel. They're supposed to be tens of thousands of years apart, and it all got muddled up, and I think the whole thing just kind of fell apart.
So now they're all just kind of spiritually related at this point.
Yeah, it's spiritual in every sense of that word. There's really nothing else connecting them. No characters, no. Well,
what I'm trying to get at is
the same guy.
It's not just
for the most part.
Xenoblade. That's not the name of the game. The name of the game is Xenoblade Chronicles. Isn't that right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Okay. So
it makes no difference.
So no, what? Well, it makes a difference to me if I go to look it up and I can't find it. Is Xenoblade Chronicles? Well, what was that add-on? What console was it on?
Wii.
The first one was on Wii.
On
And
Wii.
they made a 3DS port.
I'm just wondering, is it worth picking up since I picked up the Wii U?
Oh yeah.
Was it? Would you recommend
I've
it?
I've really only heard good things about it, so I would say probably pick it
is. It's really good. I honestly though, I'd want you to try out something a little more universally accepted that's similar to it. Like, if you could get through Final Fantasy X, then I think you'd enjoy.
Well, the combat's. I think
like,
the combat's more like 12, isn't it?
Yeah, the combat's there's no Is there gambits?
But I'm saying
it's got
the
more.
whole
It's got
like
more squad based
auto attack thing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So I'm just thinking. What I'm thinking of is I'm thinking of just the general idea of the long form, like 50+ hour JRPG.
Yeah, that's a serious length of time
with it. Like, I don't think this one should be your first one to get started with, but
were all the games announced today for the Switch? Was this one Switch exclusive? Are all of them Switch exclusive?
These are all Switch games,
except for the Metroid 2
Rocket
remake.
League.
Do you think any of them will come out on Wii U?
I doubt it.
No, Wii U's done. Just the Zelda DLC.
Yeah.
I think when I saw the Zelda DLC, they showed the Wii U logo, and I was like, I bet that's the last time we see a Wii U logo at E3.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Okay. So come on, this was the best show of E3. What else was there?
So the next one, which it might be something that only I'm excited about, because I loved the Kirby games growing up, and they had a new Kirby game. And
I've never been into them.
So Kirby Superstar Saga for Super Nintendo was my favorite because it had like all these different variations of Kirby games you could kind of play on in one game. So this one kind of interested me. It had like it looks very not customizable is the word, but it looks like there's so much you can do at any given moment. Like they made it so that you can collect teammates, and then you can also kind of combo your attacks with your teammates to, like, if you suck up a dude that lets you wield a sword, then you also shut up. And then you also get a second guy that can light things on fire. You can have him light your sword on fire, and now you have a fire sword. So it's just little neat things like that. And the Kirby games aren't especially like difficult or anything. They're definitely like easy platformers in my mind. But they're just charming, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to play. So it's
it looked like a fun game, and it looked like it potentially had co-op.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Is that I feel like, and I honestly I don't remember off the top of my head now, but it looked like you could assign the other characters to be actual players rather than just AI. So that could be definitely interesting.
Yeah, it looked like it was well set up to do that anyway. And with the other Super Marios on the Wii U, it looked like it could have worked potentially.
Yeah, and so it's a 2D side scroller, and they announced another 2D side scroller just called Yoshi, and that looked really bland. Like,
did you think that was 2D? I thought it was 3D. I thought it looked a bit more like
it's like 2.5D, I guess. It's like you're on a plane, but it's a wide plane, if you will.
I won't. Was it not more like Captain Toad? Could you not like go in one direction? Or
that's kind of the impression I got more of.
I thought it was more 3D, but then, as you say, it seemed like he was following along a path, as opposed to spread across a field where he could go up, down, left, right, in any direction.
Yeah, I feel like he's following a path, but you can kind of maneuver up and down a little bit along that path. Like you can move, you can change the 2D axis or the 2D plane you're on.
Again, I guess similar to Kirby, I would definitely be waiting for reviews of that to tell you whether it's challenging, if it's just fun to play.
It just looked like the trailer they showed was just him walking and collecting coins. It didn't really show off anything.
It's by the same developers as the last Yoshi game, the Woolly World, which to me is one of the most underrated Wii U games that there is. One of the best platformers I've ever played. So with your Wii U, if you get a chance, I would highly recommend that you give that game a shot if you ever do get a chance. And that's pretty much the only reason why I think this game could be really good. I didn't really see too much of it, but with those developers doing another Yoshi game, that's exciting for me.
Gotcha.
But again, we'll see reviews first.
So we'll probably barrel on through the Pokemon news.
The big
thing, you Pokemon fans?
So I'm not like, any sort of competitive Pokemon player, but I've played a bunch of the actual RPGs. The really big news here is that this is the first one that's not on a handheld.
Yeah, oh wow. It's huge. And it's going to make the Switch sell like gangbusters.
It's gonna go
between
nuts.
This and Monster Hunter, it's gonna it's gonna be hard to catch.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it's what it needed. It's what we knew was coming, and now it's coming. So it might not be for a couple years, but damn, yeah, that's gonna be big.
And then it was followed up by what we very much did not know was coming.
Oh my god. So in the last episode I mentioned that one of the only things that would probably make me buy a Switch is if a new Metroid game came out. And then, of course, the day that episode is published in the Nintendo stream, they talk about Metroid Prime frickin' 4.
They didn't actually talk about it.
No, they
didn't. They just said the words and let your imagination do the rest.
All they did was you heard the Metroid Prime music start up, and then they flashed Metroid Prime 4 across the screen, and that was enough for me to go, oh my god, what the hell? But after the conference then, though, in the Nintendo Treehouse, they showed another Metroid game, this time for 3DS, which is a 2.5D remake of the second Metroid game that was originally for Game Boy.
And it's by Mercury Steam, the developers of Castlevania, Lord of Shadow. And so of the reason I mentioned that is because they also did a 3DS version of the Castlevania Lord of Shadow, and it looks like it plays very much like this Metroid game, where like the 2.5D, and then they have little cutscenes that kind of go in more into 3D mode.
But I heard that nobody really liked that one though.
I don't think it did too well.
So I'm hopeful just because it's Metroid, and I loved Metroid 2, and I even liked that fan remake that guy did. So although really this probably explains why there was a cease and desist letter sent to him.
Though you couldn't tell, it being Nintendo, and that's what they do.
So I'm excited, and now I'm in the market for a Switch. Damn it!
Yeah, you are.
Damn it!
You would. I mean, it's Zelda. That's the only. You're not going to buy a Wii U. How else would you have played the greatest Zelda ever made?
Because I wasn't going to buy it for one goddamn game, and I wanted something more than that. And
you eventually were. It was inevitable.
Metroid, and of course now freaking Mario plus Rabbids, which I can't believe the words never that I thought would come out of my mouth.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, move on. I'm God.
Well, let's knock out two games. Well, one of them that we're probably not that buzzed about, Fire Emblem Warriors. Have you played many of the Warriors games, and are you looking forward to that? Are you Fire Emblem fans?
I've played a couple of the Dynasty Warrior games, not a whole lot of them. I don't like Musou games. They're just I don't see what's fun about them. You just run into a horde of enemies, slash a million times, and wait for everybody to die.
These like cross IP Warriors games are, I don't know, maybe I'm just biased because they're IPs that I like, but they've tended to be a little better, a little more fun, a little more to them. Like I played Hyrule Warriors and I'm enjoying it. It's fine. It's not Zelda, but yeah, I mean the core action isn't too different from what you said. You're just running into guys and leveling up your character and making him godlike as he just tears down everything standing in front of him, and that's a lot of fun to a lot of people. And throwing Zelda in or Fire Emblem or Dragon Quest just adds icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Fire Emblem, I've got some experience with Fire Emblem, not a lot, but I know there are some rabid fans out there, so they will definitely pick this up.
Raving rabid fans, would you say?
Kill yourself. just kill yourself.
So, another one that we're huge fans of that we were expecting to see land on the Switch at some point was, of course, Rocket League.
Yeah.
This is a perfect fit for the Switch. Presumably, people playing with, a single Joy-Con. Isn't that what they're called? Is there enough buttons on it, Elliot, to play Rocket League?
Sure, there's enough buttons. Do that again. So. Do that again, Stevo.
You only need a few. You only need a direction button. You need go and break.
You need boost. Jump. You need jump. Elliot's not that good at Rocket League, by the way. Full disclosure. He still hasn't learned how to use the jump button.
There's definitely no way.
Still trying to make his car crouch.
There's definitely no way to look behind you. But as long as you keep ball cam mode, you don't need to move the camera. So there's no way to look behind you, no way to move the camera around.
I'm sure there's a way they'll make it work.
They'll make it work. They're
the
good.
thing I'm excited about though is that they've got crossplay with Xbox and PC, which Sony, the dumbasses that they are.
So that's kind of a big story in that.
Yeah.
That's been lost. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Out of omission was there's no in Minecraft. We didn't even mention Minecraft.
From
the Microsoft conference, cross-platform play with Switch and PC. No mention of PS4. Same thing on Rocket League.
PS4 and this is really Sony's decision.
Well, they like the Rocket League guys. They're like, it's just a checkbox we have to check, and all they got to do is say yes.
Yeah, they said it ages ago. They've been ready to turn it on for so long.
Well, so here, let me read you the quote from Jim Ryan, who we all love. He says, why did you do this? Basically, he's like, well, we've got to be mindful of our responsibility to our install base. ... Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully. It's the internet. Whoa. First off. Second of all,
that's an intense spin. Wow. I'm busy.
I mean, it's PlayStation 4. Was he going to have friend codes next? I mean, it's it's a dumb argument. Kids are going to be exposed to things, and I'm not really. I guess the word is arguing for that. I mean, obviously, there's some things younger children should not be playing and getting into, or interacting with strangers on the internet. But
so is it just messaging? Is it just messaging on the game that they're worried about?
There's parental controls.
Yeah.
There are things in place like parenting that can help with this.
Yeah, but no number of F-bombs is more painful than hearing what a save.
Over and over.
What a save.
Yeah, when you've made that mistake.
So yeah, a massive dumbass decision on Sony's part, and I don't think part of their reasoning, I think, is also because they're worried that they may lose customers if they let you play with other games.
No,
it doesn't make any
it's not
goddamn
even
sense.
that. It's that we are king of the world. We have all the power. We have all the market, and we can do whatever we want. And if you want to play with us, you're going to buy our system, and we have the ego to tell you that.
Yeah, it's shitty.
Yeah, it is a little disappointing.
Oh well, hopefully maybe they'll change their mind down the road, but I'm not that hopeful.
It's
All
like
right.
it's this pendulum swinging ebb and flow. Like Sony was so good in PS2 that they in the PS2 era that they ruled the entire gaming industry, and then were the example of pure hubris when the PS3 came out, $600 system, and they almost completely tanked their whole operation doing that, and it humbled them. They slowly rebuilt, and then PS4 is amazing again, and now they're doing that same fucking thing again, that same attitude, that same like, nope, we're too good for this now. We have 60 million consoles sold, and you have like less than half that probably.
Yeah,
it's so disappointing. And even Nintendo, which barely has an online capable console, is jumping in with both feet, and it's
it's going to be an interesting scenario to keep an eye on. Yeah.
So, but we got one last one, and I know Elliot.
The last one,
and I know Elliot wants to talk about it.
Holy crap! How good!
As the resident Nintendo fanboy,
I wouldn't call myself a fanboy. I just know where the good games are.
Fanboy.
How good was Mario Odyssey?
It looks epic.
Cow.
I personally cannot wait to possess normal-looking people in a Mario game.
The T-Rex.
Yeah, the T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
We didn't need it. We didn't know we wanted it.
Yep.
But we're gonna get it.
So turning into a bomb, turning into electricity.
Give us a synopsis, Elliot.
Of the trailer?
Yeah, of the game, the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, so you're Mario, and you have a hat that as some kind of personality, and you throw them around, and you use the hat to possess other objects. You can throw it onto a live, like a power line, and turn yourself into an electric bolt that just travels along the length of the wire to get to the other side. You can, as Josh said, you can throw it onto the full life-size people walking around New Donk City and walk around as them. You can throw it onto enemies. Like there was one thing that they showed on the treehouse where bullet bills were coming around, and he threw the hat onto the bullet bill and then controlled the bullet bill and flew it around. So many possibilities for puzzles, platforming, places to even take the game. It's a great idea. It looks cool. It looks like a massive world. It looks
also,
like
Mario had a spaceship that he was jumping in to go to different areas, wasn't he?
So that's
called
how
the
you
Odyssey.
get to from world to world. So New Donk City is the hub world, just like Delfino Plaza in Sunshine, and just like the castle in Mario 64. So we're going back to that old format of the Mario games that we kind of got away from in Galaxy and the 3D worlds and lands. And instead of jumping into paintings, you jump into your spaceship and go off to the next world. And
instead of stars you're collecting, it looks like you're collecting fuel for your ship so that you can go to different worlds.
Yeah, you're picking up
moons or something. Yeah.
But it is broken down into levels in the way that Mario 64 was, and in the way but so is that levels in the same way as Mario 3D World was, and in the same way as Super Mario Brothers 1 and 3 were, or does it work differently? Is it all the same? You go into a level, there's this number of stars, there's this number of other pickups, and you have to get all of them to get like 3 stars or to get 100% on the level.
That's what it looks like. And the way they did it in previous Mario games is you'd go into a level and you'd get a star, and then there'd be a number of other collectibles you could go in and collect. Mario 64 in particular, you could go back and complete different objectives to get additional stars. You get another star. And in 3D World, you go back and get stamps. You go back and get there's something else too, I thought. but there's a number of things you need to get to the 100% of the level, and like the golden star that you get on your profile for that. But and I it looks like it's the same format here, but just a pretty inventive gameplay kind of shtick there. Yeah, I didn't really expect anything less. We kind of all knew Nintendo had something big up their sleeve. They didn't really have a Mario game of this scale. They haven't had one in so long. And
when I saw it, I immediately thought, I gotta pick up a Switch. It looked so fun. It looked so interesting. The graphics and the frame rate was perfect. I wanted to play it.
I'll admit it's the first Mario game I've been excited for in a long time.
Did you play Galaxy?
I did, and it was fine. I never finished it. I liked it. I
thought Galaxy was great. Actually,
it didn't keep my attention.
Was amazing too.
Well, I didn't have a Wii U, so
yeah. I mean, Galaxies are probably the best Mario games for me, and this one, and I haven't been let down by any of the ones since or anything. But this one just looks like we're going back to another, just like we had the greatest Zelda in a long time. I think we're looking at one of the best Marios.
Nintendo Renaissance, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, their Wii U era was a Nintendo Renaissance. Their first party output was like really consistently good.
It's because there was no third party output.
Yeah, they had no choice. You wouldn't have anything else on the Wii U. But aside from, I think, Star Fox and maybe one other one, like one of the best Yoshi games I've ever played, some of the best Mario games I've ever played, the best Donkey Kong Country games by far. Like it's the Wii U, Nintendo really did a lot, and it's really nice to see that going into the Switch here, they don't need to rely on having. I mean, you always want to come up with good games, but they're not like behind as much anymore. But they've still got that consistent output.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing a lot of things right. They're spacing these games out as well. I played Zelda on Wii U, and it took me ages, and it was brilliant every single moment of it. And I imagine for a person who bought a new console, bought the Switch, and played Zelda, it must have been everything they wanted in a launch title. And now I see this Mario game and I go, this could be Zelda again. This could be lightning striking twice. It could be just pure unbridled fun. And I'm jealous of everyone who has a Switch. And I'm yet again annoyed by Nintendo because you can't buy a Switch in North America. And why does this stuff keep on happening? It's just, it boggles the mind. They've done so many things right, and you can't supply enough consoles for people who want to buy them. What is wrong with them?
Says the man who owns an NES Classic.
Hey, I had to work hard to get that thing. That was not easy. I was sitting clicking refresh on 5 different sites for hours.
Yeah,
I earned that.
That's how I got my Switch, the exact same way. Be there when the pre-orders go up.
That's how I got PAX tickets.
So, guys, I think we've done pretty well to cover most of the conferences here. A couple of quick fire questions. Obvious one. What's the game of E3 for you both? Elliot, what was yours? Best game?
I think I have to go with Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
It's also the game I saw the most of because I was watching the Treehouse that came afterwards. But I don't see. It is the way you put it. I see this as another Zelda. I see this as I could put 80 hours into this and still be having a blast.
Yeah. With
doing new things, finding new things. Going back and trying to get 100% on all the levels. It seems like it's the kind of game that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Josh, I think I can guess what your one is, but
I have to qualify mine.
Yeah.
So there, Metroid Prime 4 is obviously the game of the thing for me, just because it's the one I knew I wanted. Mario plus Rabbids is the game I did not know I wanted, and now I want. So it's those two right there.
So,
Steve.
guess it's just me left. And
come on, Nintendo trifecta. Do it, Stevo.
It has to be Mario Odyssey. It looks so good, more than any other game that we saw. A Way Out looked really interesting, a lot of potential. South Park looked funny as all hell. I can't wait for that to come out. Wolfenstein 2, best trailer for me. It was just so funny. But Mario Odyssey was the one game that I looked at and went, I want to play that right now.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't Wolfenstein, but I can see Odyssey.
Just looks so much fun. What about did you have a biggest disappointment? Was there anything that you were looking forward to that either wasn't here or just wasn't as good as you were expecting?
I mean, I was expecting Last of Us 2, but I saw is it Neil Druckmann? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
He tweeted, he was like, we thought about it, but this is Chloe and Nadine's show, so we'll let them have the stage. So I'm fine with that. That's fine. Yeah. But other than that, I don't know. I guess nothing really was a major disappointment. Like something that I was expecting to be good and wasn't good. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot I didn't give a shit about, but like VR, I couldn't care less about the VR stuff just now.
Yeah.
But
what about you, Elliot? Was there anything in particular that you were like either just disappointed by or that didn't show up?
I'm gonna get. Well, I was also disappointed that Last of Us 2 didn't show up.
Also, you were disappointed that bloody Porsche showed up in the Microsoft conference.
So that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna get so much shit for that, but I was disappointed in the Microsoft conference only because they had a new console to show and I was expecting the world from them. I thought it was going to be far and away their best conference and far and away the best one at the show. I thought they were going to have gameplay trailers of games doing shit that you would only see in CG. I don't know. Like, I know it's not a whole new generation, but so it might be too much to ask of them. But I went in. I think they might be the only conference. No, I saw Nintendo's all the way through, but like I was glued to the TV waiting to see what this is about, what this new hardware is about. And the specs on paper are very impressive. That even the way it looks is gorgeous, impressively small. All that stuff was more than I expected, but then it was just nothing after that. And not nothing, but it wasn't games that can only run on Xbox One, but like they'll only look this good on Xbox One. Let's show you why you're spending $500 fucking dollars on this thing. And it just there wasn't anyone telling me why I had to get it other than 4K.
You were expecting to be blown away by the
I was
Xbox Scorpio show.
I was, and so maybe that's so it was just disappointment in that sense. For me.
Fair enough. For me, I think it was the realization that so many of these big AAA publishers don't want to go very far out of their comfort zones. You know, when I looked at the list of games for a few of these, I'm just like, Bethesda games, all ones that we've heard of before. EA games, basically all ones but one that we've heard of before. Microsoft, well done to them, a few different ones. Sony, everything we had already heard of. There was nothing. Shadow of the Colossus remake, I guess. Well done, Nintendo, though. I guess we're all agreed the best conference goes to Nintendo, hands down.
I don't consider myself a Nintendo fanboy, at least not since the Super Nintendo era, and I would give it to Nintendo.
Yep. Well done, Nintendo.
Yeah, it was for only 30 minutes, especially considering that. But I mean, there was a bit more in the treehouse, but yeah, it was everything we wanted to see. They have this new console out. It's their first E3 with the console out. They had to promise that they had to show us that it was going to be what you wanted. Your Nintendo games that you got it for are going to be there, and they did that.
Yep. Bravo.
All right, should we wrap this up?
Yes.
I think it's about time. We've gone long here, but I guess It was
Yeah,
a special
of course.
after all.
It was a special, so we went way over, but hopefully you're still with us. Until next time, I think we're actually going to do another episode of a week immediately after this one, and then we'll be back to our once every 2 weeks, regularly scheduled podcasting. In the meantime, you can check us out at ratherbycast.com. If you have questions, you can email us and we'll read them online and discuss, or on the podcast and discuss. That's questions at ratherbycast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at RBPcast. We are also at RBPJosh, at RBPElliot, and RBPStevo. We usually tend to chat about the games that we're playing at the time, going through our backlogs. And while we're doing that, we'll also be streaming on twitch.tv/ratherbyplaying. And those will be output to YouTube, our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/ratherbyplaying, soundcloud.com/ratherbyplaying. And you can find us wherever podcasts are available. So I think that's about it. In the meantime, make sure you play your games because they're not going to play themselves.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye, Josh's cat.
Bye, Josh. God, it was all over the place this time.
Yeah.